guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be doing a story time about a time I took some edibles home alone and called the police because I was tweaking out. Okay, mind you guys, I was a minor. I do not encourage doing drugs if you are not 21 or older. I don't encourage doing drugs at all, actually. So, you know, stay away from the weed. But if you smoke weed, you smoke weed. Go ahead, boo. And, you know, etc, etc. We're not gonna get much into that, but let's get right into the freaking story, y'all. Okay, so around 2021, yeah, this was 2021. So around 2021, I got kicked out of my house. As you know, if you've been on my YouTube channel for like some time now, then you know. So I got kicked out of my mom's house, and I was living with my auntie. And while I was living with my auntie, you know, she was really letting me, like, she was letting me be my own person. I wouldn't say she was letting me do whatever I wanted because there was rules, but she was letting me be my own person. Like, I was on my assignments, I was doing my gang. She knew I smoked weed, but as long as I didn't smoke it in the house with her there, or, you know, just be disrespectful in a matter to where it's like, okay, now you getting too out of hand. Right. So my auntie ends up going to jail. So I'm living in the house by myself, right, y'all? I'm living in there by myself. You know, when it's like you got a teenager in the house by themselves, they got weed there, etc. Like, they just finna be living a life. Because I was living a life. And I had my own key, too. And I was, like, in and out. Like, and I didn't even bring people over there. Like, I was just really I was respecting her house and respecting that she trusted me enough to stay there by myself, knowing that me and my mother wasn't on speaking terms, right? So, I ran out of weed. So I'm like, damn, I can't go spend money at the weed man because I need to make sure I'm spending my money wisely. But I knew my auntie had this cookie edible that she had in her room. She said, nah. She was like, nah, don't eat my edible. She said it jokingly before she went to jail. Nah, don't eat my edible. So if y'all hear the background noise, it's my bad. It's the roommates. But so she's saying that jokingly. Me, I'm like, nah, I'm not finna eat your stuff. Because I really wasn't. I wasn't in that moment, in that time when she told me not to. I really was not going to. But when she was in jail and I knew she was probably gonna be gone for a minute, I was like, might as well. Right. So I grabbed the edible, right? I eat it. I smoked the rest of my little blunt that I had left, and I like take one bite of it, and I'm like, it's not hitting. I bite it again. Maybe if I take a bigger piece. I took a bigger piece, ate it, and I was like, no, I took a bigger piece and I ate it, and then I put it away, and I was like, okay, let me chill, right? So I sit back and I chill. It hit me. Like, soon as I leaned back to like chill on the couch, it like and I was just sitting there slump high, heart racing fast. My heart was beating, like, it was beating fast as hell, like doo-doo. So I'm like, all right, babe, I'm finna go get in the shower. I get in the shower, I feel my stomach hurting, and I feel pressure on my nanny, right? I know this is weird, y'all, but look, I start feeling pressure on my nanny. So I'm like, what the fuck? Then I was like, I don't know, y'all, was tweaking. So around that time, I wasn't having sex, but the last time I had sex around that time was like some months ago. So in my head, and I think I was in a relationship. Oh damn, was I in a relationship? No, okay, I was not. I had actually broke up with the guy around that time, but I know before we broke up, we had sex, and it was unprotected. I wasn't on birth control at that time either. So I'm like, okay, all right. Like, look, what if you're pregnant? And what if you like having a miscarriage because you smoking weed and it's like the baby's coming out? Like, I'm tricking myself in my mind, telling myself this, like, what if, like, all these what ifs. So my dumb ass lay down in the tub and I started pushing. I said, I lay down in the tub and I start pushing like I'm finna give birth. Nothing came out. So then I just sit there and I'm like, nah, I'm tweaking. So I'm telling myself, I'm like, I'm tweaking, I'm just high and it's having a weird effect on my body. So I finished showering up. Then it started feeling like I can't breathe. So I'm like, start feeling like everything is closing in tight. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll grab my phone. I call 911. I said, hello. She said, 911, what's your emergency? I feel like I can't breathe. I feel like my throat is like closing up. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah. Are you there alone? Are you at home alone? I'm like, yeah. She's like, how old are you, ma'am? And I'm like, I'm 6. I think I'm 16. I was like, I'm 16. And she was like, where's your parents? And now I have to think of something fast. I'm like, my auntie, she left to the store. She said she'd be back, but like she been gone for a minute now. I had to make some shit up fast because I didn't know, right? And I knew my mom and them could get in trouble because, you know, I'm not supposed to be there by myself. So it's like I want to be here by myself. I like being here by myself. So I'm like, fuck it. Like, my auntie went to the store. She said she coming right back. She been gone for a minute though. She probably out running errands. So it was like, okay, give it your address. I give them the address. They come, so I have to get dressed and I have to make the house look like something because you can't invite company over and your house messed up. Only thing that was, it was like covers on the couch, and I was like, my mama told me better that. But my job, I'm saying I can't breathe and I'm doing all this movement while I can't breathe, right? So the policemen come, they firefighters come, they come in. It was like 6 deep in them motherfuckers in the house, right? And I'm they was like, where's your auntie? I'm like, oh, she left to the store. She'll be back. It's gonna take her a while to get here though, because she went to a store that's far. I was like, okay, where's your mom? I'm like, I don't live with my mom anymore. My mom kicked me out, so I'm living with my auntie right now. She's like, okay, we're gonna take you to the hospital. You know, your personal information, yada 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 yada. They did the little whole thing, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I can't breathe. And they was like, did you take anything? I'm like, huh? They said, did you take anything? I said, yeah, I took an edible. And they was like, probably the side effects from the drug. And I forgot what the fuck he said because I was so high. But so yeah, they said, do you still want to go to the hospital? I said, yeah. Like, I feel like I can't breathe. Like, I'm scared to be by myself right now. So they take me to the hospital. They told me to dispose of like the edible, and I'm like, can y'all throw it in the trash? They say, no, we can't. I didn't want to get in trouble. Like, I did not want to get in trouble. I'm like, man, you better take this fucking edible. But I understood what they was coming from, so I said, okay. We get into the ambulance, y'all. We get into the ambulance, and it's like they just going off, and I'm high, like I'm slumped on one of their shoulders in the back seat of the ambulance because like the bitch was faded. I had an edible, and I had like a little piece of blunt left, and it was some good weed too, right? So we get to the hospital. My nurse was the sweetest nurse ever. Oh my god, nurse, I don't know your name, but if you ever come across this video in life, like if you ever even see me, because I know you will see me on TV, okay, but if you ever see me, I appreciate you so much. She was the sweetest. I get there, right, and I'm laying down on the bed. She like, oh, you want some food? She gave me a peanut butter. She gave me like 2, 3 peanut butter jelly sandwich. She gave me some juice. She gave me some crackers, and I was just in there knocked out. Right, knocked. Then my hair come on, mama. Layla, they said your ass was taking pills. I said, no, I took an edible. Oh my gosh. She wasn't even that mad. She wasn't even as mad as I thought she was gonna be, to be honest. She was just assuming a whole bunch of other stuff that did not even occur. But yeah, she wasn't as mad as I thought she would be about me taking the edible. She was just more so fixated on some imaginary thought she created that I was doing, and tried to see if I like say it since I was intoxicated, but that didn't happen. Yeah, then after that, she picked me up. We get in the car. My job, I'm still faded as fuck, so I'm slumping in the backseat of the car like, hey, I'm ready. Wake your ass up. We here. I get dropped off at her house. I didn't want to be there at that time though. I was like, I get dropped off. As soon as I got there though, I went to sleep. I ain't gonna hold you. I went straight to sleep. As soon as I got there. And then that next morning, I still had the munchies. But I left that next morning. I went back to my auntie's house because I didn't want to stay there. I was like, nah. But look, that wasn't my first time taking the edible though. Just the FYI. That was like my second, maybe third time taking the edible around that time. So yeah, it was I feel like that's my worst edible experience. Like, I literally thought I was giving birth to a non-existent baby. And that's why you make sure you have sex with protection. That day I learned my lesson. That day I learned my lesson. You make sure you wear protection when you're having sex. Or don't have sex at all. Become abstinent to sex. Don't do drugs because it'll have you tripping and tweaking out. A bitch thought she was giving birth to air, and then I felt like I couldn't breathe. But it's like, if you can't breathe, why are you doing all this shit that caused a lot of that's the end of the video pretty much. It was like a really short story. It's really crazy though. Like, the firefighters pulling up to like make sure that, you know, just to see what I got going on. The whole time I was just high. Then motherfucker, that's why you don't do drugs. Just stay off of them drugs because they ain't gonna help you. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, ain't nothing wrong with a little weed now and then, but just be careful on the milligrams. And if you young smoking weed, I am not encouraging you to smoke weed, but if you are already doing it, just be safe and be careful. Make sure you watch how many milligrams there is. Watch people roll the blunt or buy your own weed from a dispensary. Or if your parents are comfortable with you smoking at a young age, then, you know, have them buy your weed, okay? Like, have that one conversation with them, like, hey mom, I know sometimes it feel weird because I was like that too when my mom found out I was smoking at 14. Yes, 14, y'all, and I'm not ashamed of it. But when my mom found out that I was smoking at 14, she kind of like, she was low-key kind of mad, but then she had to really think about it. My mom had me at 14, so it was just like, damn, like 9 times out of 10 it was bound for me to grow up a little faster than I should have, because I was born into a family of young people that are like way older than me, and I grew up with all of them. So I was destined to be way more mature than my age, move a little faster than my age. But that's okay. Nonetheless, I am very well-rounded and stable-minded. I'm a very stable-minded young woman, so it's not like everything that I did went into vain. Okay? Yeah. So just make sure you keep your grades up in school if you are smoking weed. I'm not encouraging you to actually stop smoking weed, but I mean, you're not going to listen to a stranger that you're watching on YouTube, so do as you please. Just be safe, be careful. Moral of the story: peace, love, and prosperity to you all. I love that. I love that. Okay, bye guys, thanks for watching this video.